following is my own true story from my personal experience. They do not speak on behalf of the United States Marine Corps or any other U.S. Marine. This is my own story. Your experience is different. I cannot speak on that.
Do not use drugs in the military. It is a bad idea because as far as the government is concerned, if they catch you puffing on that gas station gas, you might as well be caught smoking crack and butt chugging cough syrup because they will treat you like you just did. For civilians out there, this might seem like an overreaction, and in my opinion, it is. The government does not joke around though when it comes to that reefer. Or, ban drugs in general. If you get to know what the piss test is like, you will know that you cannot cheat the piss test. And if you want to see how the piss test works, you can check out my previous video on this series. But anyways, let's just say that you are not going to cheat the piss test, so you might as well do the right thing. In the Marines, I have seen my fair share of Marines get the bad conduct discharge, which is what we like to refer to as the big chicken dinner. And this is not the big chicken dinner that you want. And you get it for popping on the piss test. So today I'm going to share with you a story about the time that one of the Marines I knew puffed on that forbidden grass while in service. But to begin, I need to provide some context. As an NCO, which is a non-commissioned officer, I was not the type to go up the chain of command for issues that could be resolved on a lower level, meaning that I saw no need to escalate a problem if it could be helped. Because of this, I have had many Marines throughout my career come up to me for advice or whenever they were in trouble because they knew that as long as they were genuine about it, and don't worry, I could tell, I would work with them to resolve the problem. I'm of course talking about trivial things or, things that could be worked out. Obviously, if you came up to me telling me that you, killed 3 people and have kids locked up in your basement, I would escalate up the chain of command. Hate me for it, but again, that was my leadership style. Resolve shit if it can be resolved and leave it at that. So anyway, this story takes place when I was a young corporal stationed at Marine Corps Air Station Miramar. And one day I was at the chow hall when a Marine I knew decently well. We weren't close friends or anything, but he came up to me because he had a problem. As far as I know, this Marine is still in the Marines, by the way. So if they trace him back somehow, he'd probably get in trouble for it. So I'll just call him Smith. Smith was a solid dude. He worked hard. He didn't really cause any trouble. He got in a few fights here and there, but it's whatever. Everyone gets into fights here and there. Well, he comes up to me in the chow hall one day, and this dude looks nervous as hell and suspicious as fuck. And he tells me that he needs to see me after chow and for me to come to his room. But I'm not stupid. I can tell something's wrong. And so as I'm finishing up my food, I'm thinking anywhere that, he got a girl pregnant, he bought a Mustang for a 50% APR, he killed somebody, I don't know, man. There was a lot of scenarios running through my head. So I walk up to his room and this dude is he's already outside his room, pacing around again, just looking suspicious as fuck. I go up to him and I ask him, what's up? And he pulls out this Ziploc bag with some of that Zaza in it. Well, there's not much in this bag. In fact, there was so little that I didn't even know what I was even looking at until I leaned all the way in. And there was so little, you could probably you barely even roll a joint with it, right? It was tiny. And so as I'm figuring out what I'm looking at, he asks me what he should do. And I'm not gonna lie, I kind of looked at him like he was stupid because what you expect me to say other than throw that shit away? So I tell him, hey, this is the military, right? If you pop on that piss test, they don't care if you just smoked once, if you took one little puff, or if you smoked every day, they're gonna treat you the same. So of course I tell him to not smoke it and get rid of it. But I get curious. So I ask him how he even got that ganja in the first place and why it's on base. So he tells me that last weekend, his friends came over from Los Angeles and they were just gonna kick it, party, whatever. And they used Marine Smith's car. And again, Marine Smith is the Marine that I'm talking to. And Smith's friends go back to LA and Smith finds his bag of the devil's lettuce in his car that his friends left accidentally. Now, LA is a little over 2 hours away from where our base is, which is near San Diego. And so his friends told him just to keep it because, there was barely any of that Zaza in the bag in the first place. And the gas, and by gas, I mean actual gas, not the other kind of gas, to go back and forth between Los Angeles and San Diego, it was going to cost more than whatever little amount of that forbidden salad was in the Ziploc bag anyways. Smith also says that, he got piss tested recently and he hadn't smoked in a while, so fuck it. That's why he kept it. But like I said before in my other video, piss tests are random, so it's still not a good idea to smoke even after you get tested. I tell him, whatever you're about to do is a bad idea, or just get rid of it. I leave. The weekend goes by, and I figure it was no big deal, right? Problem solved. Until that following Tuesday, I see Smith in the chow hall, and this dude looks distraught. So I go up to him and I ask him how things were, and immediately I could tell something was off. And he also knew I wasn't stupid, right? So he just tells me, hey, look, meet me in his room and we could talk there. So the moment I get to his room, he tells me what happened. He tells me that last weekend his girl was coming over to see him. He says that his plan was to get rid of that weed off base. He tells me that him and his girl, they go to a hotel room and they were gonna get turned, they were gonna get wasted, whatever you want to call it. They were gonna stop by Bevmo, which is this chain liquor store. And then we're gonna get a bunch of drinks and have a good time. He tells me him and his girl, they go to this hotel and they're kicking it, right? They're drinks and Modelo's for locals, tequila, whatever. You get the point. Well, a couple hours in, and he remembers that he still has some of that Mary Jane on him. But he tells me, man, Corporal, I wasn't all there in the head. He tells me that he pulls out that ganja and he's like, fuck it, all right, I'm with my girl, a little bit won't hurt. And his girl's not military or anything, so she probably doesn't think it's a big deal because, I mean, it's not a big deal in the civilian world. So they smoke it. I stop him there. I'm like, wait, hold on a second. Back up just a moment, right? I mean, I'm no Zaza expert, but how'd you smoke it? And bro, he gets like this ashamed and embarrassed look on his face. Like, if you've ever seen someone do something they shouldn't, but what they shouldn't do was also embarrassing, like, I don't know how to exactly describe it, but he had that look on his face, right? I'm like, look, man, just at this point, you might as well tell me the entire thing, right? You're too far in. So he tells me, first of all, he didn't have anything to grind up the weed with. So him and his girl, they like use their fingers and their fingernails to pinch apart the weed and break into little pieces. But then they also don't have anything to smoke with. So they tell me that the only thing they had was the hotel room Bible. And he tells me that they cut off the blank page of the hotel room Bible. And you know, if you know, like the Bible pages, it's very thin and stuff, and they use it to roll a joint. And already as he's talking, I'm like, man, what the fuck am I listening to? And so he goes, but Corporal, I mean, he says my name, but Corporal, right? I didn't smoke much of it. And he tells me that the biblical joint he rolled, right? It burned weird, and that each of them went to take a hit, and he told me that shit was so harsh that they both just ended up having a coughing fit, and then they both took another hit, and then they just said fuck it and threw away the joint. And he says that he didn't get high from it. Now, I obviously wasn't there for that, so for all I knew, they could have both sucked down that joint, right? The Jesus pack. But the way he said it, and just the fact that I knew him, I don't think he was lying. But again, hey, I mean, I wasn't there. I suppose he could always have been lying to me. But after he told me that, I was just like flabbergasted. Like, dude really puffed on the Jesus pack, the Holy Spirit, the freaking Gospel of John pack. Like, man, I gotta get out of here, man. I'm around some crazy people, man. So the next day he wakes up, he tells me, and he knows he fucked up, obviously. So he says he wanted to tell me afterwards to like figure out a solution, but also he knew that I would be disappointed, and it's not exactly like I could do anything. I mean, I wasn't gonna like suck the THC out of his like fat lipid cells. Like what could I do, right? If you pop on a piss test, you pop on a piss test. And so pretty much I tell him that, all right, like he pretty much has two options. He could A, tell the chain of command that he messed up and risk getting the big chicken dinner, which may or may not have happened. I mean, also, if he was telling the truth, maybe he didn't have enough like THC in his system to even pop on the piss test. But that was the first option, to tell the chain of command and hope to God they had mercy on him. The second option was to just wait it out and hope that he doesn't get tested for that month. But if he does get tested and he pops, the chain of command is not gonna have any mercy on him. And I kind of left the decision up to him. But man, for the next few weeks, every time I saw this dude, he was tweaking. Like, I know he regretted his decision, because when the piss test roster came out for that month, it looked like dude was about to pass out, because like he was just waiting to see if he was on that list or not. The moral of the story is, it's just not worth it, man. I mean, really. I mean this in a serious note, right? Don't throw away your future career for something so stupid. And so hopefully you watching this, if you're in the military right now, you don't do anything stupid like that. And sure, the Marine in the story never got caught, but that does not mean that you won't get caught. So don't risk it. So I want to thank you for watching, and hopefully you'll have a good day. Like and sub for more, and bye.